Hello, my name is Jon Voigtman. I would first like to especially thank Principal Raft and Class President Jacob Wolper for inviting me to spend a few minutes with you. I'm so very sorry that I cannot be in Saline in person. I live in the Bahamas, and our country has closed its borders to mitigate the contagion of the coronavirus. The Bahamas is great, but please know there is no place I would rather be today than in my hometown of Saline, Michigan. Saline High School Class of 2020, congratulations. You are graduating at a historic and unprecedented time. The challenges and uncertainty facing the nation and you personally can feel insurmountable. However, in such times, I encourage you to see through these negative headlines and be inspired by our country's resolve and willingness to adapt. Fearless healthcare workers on the front lines, dedicated food service workers striving to keep us fed, and devoted teachers who nearly overnight transformed the educational model. And recently, to the protesters who are fighting for equality and a voice in this country. The tragic death of George Floyd is a wake-up call that we all need to act with more compassion, acknowledge our implicit biases, and demand action from our government, and most importantly, recognize that discrimination has no place in this world. Your generation is the major force in pushing for these changes, and I have been humbled the past few weeks to listen and learn from you as I become a better ally. Amidst all this, you've reached a very special milestone, but surely not your pinnacle. I commend you on your ability to rise up and slay the challenge of learning from home. While certainly a memorable episode, please do not let the last few months define your senior year and definitely not your high school experience. Today is a day to celebrate your accomplishments here at Saline High School. You've done it. Graduation is so much more than a paper diploma and the acknowledgement of your 27 credits covering English, social studies, math, science, health, PE, technology, arts, and language. These 27 credits, combined with the endless lessons from your parents, grandparents, teachers, and the countless personal and classroom experiences, both good and bad, mean that you've now met the prerequisites for what I call the real test, the course of life. One of the greatest things about the course is that it has to be completed as a team project. You will be evaluated on how well you work with others as much as your productivity. Remember in math class when your teacher said, show your work? In the course of life, you will need to be measured on how you conduct yourself more than getting to the answer first. Your course syllabus will be customized and different from those that you've been handed in the past, and likely very different from your fellow graduates who may begin to disperse geographically in the coming months. Your instructors will also be different and diverse, especially depending on if you're next headed to college, the workforce, or maybe the armed forces. Regardless of the uniqueness, the objective will be the same: to find your harmony in hope, love, happiness, enlightenment, freedom, and prosperity. Unlike AP Calculus, one of the great things about the course of life is that there isn't an official test, but I guarantee you'll be tested time and time again. As scary as it sounds, you'll become more and more prepared, and your resilience will increase each time. You should be proud that you've already passed one of the most challenging tests that have impacted humanity in generations. Bring on the next. In times of uncertainty, one of the guiding resources I turn to is the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. In Book 6, he calls for his people to adapt yourself to the environment in which your fate has been cast, and show true love to the fellow men with whom destiny has surrounded you. Although written over 1,800 years ago, these words resonate stronger today than ever. Take comfort in knowing that with preparation, along with strong and new fellowships, you will grow faster and faster the more things change. Moving ahead a few centuries, let's say 40 years, I was standing where you are, figuratively and literally. 40 years goes fast, much faster than the last several months since the world was closed down. To be candid, after walking across the stage with my diploma in hand, I was apprehensive about my future. Coincidentally, when I graduated in the face of record high unemployment, the beginnings of a significant financial recession, and an oil glut that hadn't been seen in decades. Does that sound familiar? Like it is today, Saline was an amazing place to grow up. I feel so fortunate to have had inspirational teachers, disciplined coaches, and a close classmate community. I was decent at math and loved to draw. I like to say that I was a bookend student. My favorite classes were calculus and trig, and then art and drafting. But I was definitely weaker on the middle stuff like English, social studies, and as you can tell, speech. I was told that your perfect career was the intersection of something that you do well and something that you love. When dreaming of my future, I was determined to pursue a career in architecture, eventually starting my own firm and designing the most energy-efficient homes in the world. I thought for sure that was my destiny and the only possible career for me. Yes, I graduated Saline High in 1980. I attended Central Michigan University. I loved and thrived at college. Not as much academically as I should have, but definitely personally. I made lifelong friends and met my lifelong wife. I like to say that I was an efficient college student. During my sophomore year, for a design course, I recycled one of the projects that I did in my 12th grade drafting class taught by Mr. Ross, who was also one of Saline's great wrestling coaches. My design professor was blown away by the application and utility possibilities for my invention called the plug catch, a device that holds an electrical cord in the outlet socket. He immediately introduced me to a team of professors at the business school to develop a marketing plan and develop a business plan. That was my baptism to the wide world of business, and I eagerly wanted to learn more. In my third year, I was exposed to Finance 310, which is the intersection of math, statistics, and economics. And almost immediately, my curiosity flourished, while simultaneously, my architectural aspirations began to fade. It is refreshing and reinvigorating to have had a new dream to pursue, and without regret, I changed my major to business. I am proud to retrace my successful business career back to that Saline High School drafting class. That was the year that I found out that I could be responsive to almost any change. 30% of students change their major at least once in college. Furthermore, by the time you are 40, today's statistics show that you will have worked at 10 different companies. Be open to the possibilities and be responsive to change. In my course of life, I have been tested, like you will be. Since graduating high school, I have experienced 7 job changes, 6 presidents, 3 Middle Eastern wars, 3 direct hits from Category 5 hurricanes, 1 terrible terrorist act, and 1 wildly tragic pandemic. Aside from the job changes, I have accepted that things will happen outside my control. I think of managing through a crisis like sailing. I can't control the wind, but by taking control of the sail, I can directly influence where I go, even more so with a compass and a map. Unforeseen events are part of everyday life. Some are just bigger than others. Big or small, they are always manageable with a plan in your internal compass. For the purpose of your plan is to guide you through your course, or like my plug catch experience, to find an alternative pathway to achieve your personal and professional goals. Along with your plan and compass, a heightened sense of awareness within your environment will help you. With that awareness, the best response to any crisis or chaos or mayhem, as Aurelia put it, is to show love. By being compassionate and responsibly adapting to our fate, you will not only survive, but likely even thrive on your course. A piece of advice: once you have your sail under control, by channeling love and support, reach out and help others with their sail. It will not only be satisfying, but it will energize you. There is no better time to help and innovate than during an unexpected or after an unexpected event. My point is, expect life's challenges along your journey, and you will be stronger on the other side, and you will get there faster if you have a thoughtful plan. For with a plan, compassion, and the proper expectations, you can embrace and celebrate all these new beginnings. So when you are tested in your course of life, and you don't remember my words, just recite Saline's fight song and emphasize two of the key phrases. One, our hearts are filled with love and loyalty. And two, our fighting spirits never die. Boom! You're ready. Go boldly. And yes, this will be on the test. Congratulations, Saline High School, Class of 2020.
You're still here? It's over. You graduated.